Hi everyone, my name's Wendy. I work here at the Denver Museum of Miniatures, Dolls, and Toys. I'm hanging out in the collections area today, and today we're going to take a quick look at one of our larger collections, which is a set of World War I toy soldiers. Now, I'm not getting out the whole set because it is huge. It is hundreds and hundreds of pieces. Another day I might do a closer look if people are interested, but I thought it was interesting at this time. World War I was about 100 years ago. A little more than 100 years ago. So looking at these toys can really tell us a lot about how war has shifted and how technology has shifted in the last 100 years. So you have some things that will really remind you of some classic toy soldiers. We've got two, but they're just wearing, these would have been, I believe their uniforms were wool, and their hats were metal, but there's no kind of flak jackets. There's just a lot of cloth and layering, but there's great details on these molds for these guys. So those seem pretty classic. We have one of the members of the band. So that's, when soldiers used to go into battle and they would have a band to help, motivate. Wasn't happening as much anymore, although, music can always really, get you pumped up, even if it's not for war. And the flag bearer. So that's like a real classic toy trope and classic kind of soldier you see. And we have some more, action, kneeling down. It's great, like lean in. And he's got a lot of detail on his uniform. I don't know enough about World War I to tell you what each one of these guys are. And this guy, because someone's got to take a break sometime. So he's made so he can just sit down. You could have little bales of hay or a rock. But he's, waiting for things to happen. A doctor, I do believe. And, wherever there's battles, you're going to need a doctor. So another classic. We start to see more vehicles in war, moving away from horses. So some of these probably span post-World War I, but this one says USA on the side, and it's got wooden wheels. And there's a number of things he could be towing. Gas, so you have to have fuel. Little gas tank. I don't know if this is a general. That looks more like he probably went on with a horse. This set does have horses still. Looks like some heavy artillery. Made in the USA. This looks like some real heavy artillery. And again, the wood wheels and the rest of it's metal. They spin pretty well. And then we get into some things like this cool periscope guy. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So he's doing, reconnaissance, staying hopefully out of the line of fire by using his periscope. I always like the variety. We've got some heavier weaponry, like a machine gun, early machine gun, still not a lot of protective wear. There's the big gun here. Look at that. He's clearly in some sort of like firing seat. This is some real heavy artillery. Still hollow. The numbers on the bottom here we call our accession numbers, and so in our database we can track every single piece and what it is and when it came. Here's another. This does, it looks like another weapon, but definitely it looks like it's just on a frame. So None of that cool, like, place to sit down. You wouldn't even really see ear protection at this time. Um, so, sorry, I keep going the wrong way. We've got some floodlights. So once you start, I mean, if you can't see, you can't shoot. And once we start more aerial warfare, you have to be able to see where the planes are as they come in. So, got another one here. It's a similar kind of light as if you've ever seen Batman and they do that big project the bat signal. It's the same idea. And then we have two that are a little bit darker and really have something to say about time and World War I. So I have two here that are in gas masks. And gas warfare was, tragically really a part of World War I. And internationally, after World War I, it was just so damaging that it's one of the things that's really became frowned upon after World War I, if not illegal, depending on where you are, I guess. I had these out, I don't know, years ago, and this one almost looks like he's shooting maybe a gas canister or a flare. And you can see he's got these, like, the pants are all, like, ballooned at the top, which was the style. You can see at the bottom. I had these out, and I hadn't really, and a lot of ours have gas masks on, and I hadn't put any explanation with them. And I had visitors who were so confused and didn't know, and all of a sudden I realized that I was going to have to explain in a toy museum about gas warfare. And it was a really interesting way to look into history and look at what we did or didn't learn in school, and maybe a slightly less dark way to learn about such a horrible subject. We'll end on a high note. This set also has really great motorcyclists, motorcycling soldiers. I love these guys. I love how this one's modeled to have such, like, a great sense of speed, with him leaning over in those low handlebars. He just looks, like he's going somewhere fast. See, it's still hollow. And I'll show more toy soldiers coming up soon. We have a cool set that's really fragile, but the kid who did it, who used to have it, had actually drawn out battle plans of Battle from the Bulge. So this living history through your toys, toy soldiers have been used for this for hundreds of years. They were also used to help plan battles, but that idea of, what was that significant? What did Waterloo look like? And could you recreate it using your toy soldiers, or, any of the famous battles throughout time? What did that look like? Could you fix it? Do you know better? What does hindsight give you? It's a great way to really explore history. So I hope you had a good time looking at just a few of the World War I toy soldiers. Some of these, like I said, are a little bit later, but the first time you start to see these really drab uniforms instead of brightly colored pieces with a little more flair is World War I. So I'm just kind of cheating and grouping them all together. So take care, and we'll let this guy send you off.